Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is an 8-point favorite. This is an interesting number to me. So they played in week 13, and Tampa Bay was a 6.5-point favorite. The game went to OT. They played in week 13 in Carolina. Tampa was a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Went to OT. The Bucs only won that game because Chuba Hubbard fumbled in field goal range. So a month later, the line is in Tampa Bay. The game is in Tampa Bay. The line is only 8. So there's two things here. Some respect being given to the Panthers for how they've played, which means that bookmakers' ratings, and I know wise guys' ratings on this Panthers team have changed a little bit. Also reflects, I think, the new world order of the NFL, where home field advantage is not as much. What is your rating on this game?
This line makes me feel like a sucker. Am I a sucker for loving Carolina here? What is this number?
This was also on my list for executive decision. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
I really do not get this one. I know that the Bucks they beat up on bad teams this year, and I get that maybe the books are saying we're overrating this Carolina team too much, but or maybe a letdown after an overtime win, right? But it's like, come on, what is this number? This is way too much respect for a Bucks team and too much disrespect for this Panthers team. Like this number at 6.5 makes more sense to me than the fact that it's crossed the key number we talk all the time of 7, 7.5, and 8. Like you're getting this at +8 right now.
It makes no sense. So this was also on my list for executive decision.
Love it. Like this is a game I threw right away into a teaser. Like you can get this up to 14 right now, which is just insane for this Panthers team. But
Who'd you
yeah, like
tease
I,
it with?
I honestly thought about making the Simon Says just because I cannot see this number not coming down. Like I
All right.
just
See, I came to my senses. I made it an exec decision because I haven't completely abandoned all of our principles. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Who did you
And we
tease
do have
this
to
with?
dig in on this one because like we saw it last week. I know some groups that not that they don't not that they don't think this Carolina team is good, but they think they're overrated a little bit. Like they came in heavy on the Cardinals Sunday morning. We saw that
Makes
number
no
go
sense.
from 4.5 to 5 to 5.5 to a lot of books were at 6 by kickoff, which blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Chad are going through our picks. I'm like, what are we missing here? Are we missing something on this Carolina Arizona game? No. They went outright. That was a good read. So another week of I guess this Carolina team's just being disrespected, and the books are just saying like, you know, not that it happened in that Dallas game, but it kind of did, right? Like if Bryce Young has a bad game and he's uncomfortable the whole game, this Carolina team will never cover a win, right? Their defense is just so bad. He has to be the reason they keep it close. So he's been so good to us. Like he's just been so good to us covering. Like other than that Dallas game, which again, me and you avoided. We did not bet that game. We stayed
Yeah.
away from it because we just knew that, once they became favorites on Carolina, like, okay, it's moved too much. This is not that. This is an 8-point dog against a Bucks team that I know they're desperate because they're right now they're not leading their division anymore, but it's like I just don't think they're good enough to be favored by 8 points, especially against a Carolina team that is very competitive and the first time they played should have beat them outright.
Who did you tease this game with?
Uh, I did the Ravens.
You did the Ravens. So you teased it over
I did through the
0?
yeah, I did through 0. So I have like Ravens +2. But like
Got it.
I was just basically just throwing it in there because I was worried this number was gonna go.
Yeah.
It was gonna move too fast. But yeah, it's if you're looking for like Saturday teasers, obviously, you know, there's plenty of games this week. With like we just talked about that Colts game. If I would have thought more clearly, I easily would have paired the Colts with this, right? Get the
Right.
Colts down to 2. That would have been the play.
I like that too. Making a note. The trend is to back the Panthers here. We talked about this last week, but these teams with a winning percentage of between 50 and 59%. So they're good-ish, which means late in the year, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They haven't proven it. They've gotten lucky. They've made some good calls. When they're facing a team in week 16, 17, or 18 below 500, the good team is only 38% against the spread. Uh, the past 20 years. Since 2022, they are 10, 19, and 1. This trend was 1-1 last week. Worked with Carolina and Arizona. Did not with the Rams and Jets, but it totally should have. Carolina, exec decision. Love it. Millman, great call. You never wavered. You didn't need any help. You were spot on. But that's how we do it here on the favorites. BFF power forever.